Alright folks, another day, another video of our favorite sport. In today's video, we'll talk about how an NBA analyst has suggested a mega 3-team blockbuster trade. Wait. Will Kevin Durant go to the Mavs? Guess you better watch to find out. We'll also talk about 3 hypothetical trade destinations if Kevin Durant re-requests trade demand. So make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video to learn all about it. First up, an NBA analyst suggests a mega 3-team blockbuster trade. Okay folks, we get that you might be a little confused right now. What do you mean that Kevin Durant might go to the Mavericks? What's even crazier, will Russell Westbrook then go to the Brooklyn Nets? Oh, and Kyrie Irving will be going to the Lakers? Nah, it sounds a bit too crazy, doesn't it? Well, here's what's going on. With only 6 games into the season, the Brooklyn Nets are already struggling to win games, especially since Ben Simmons has, he's kind of been a disappointment up until now, hasn't he? So the Nets have a record of 1-4 and hold the 14th seed in the Eastern Conference. Okay, that's fine, but looking at their struggles, it's starting to make sense why the 34-year-old Durant wanted to be traded from the team in the offseason, no? After all, he's Kevin freaking Durant. After the most recent loss against the Indiana Pacers, Kevin has revealed that everyone on the team is quite furious and they all just want to win. Is that too much to ask for? Yes, because let's be honest here folks, the Nets may continue to struggle the entire season. However, Durant may just find a way out by once again asking for a trade from the organization. So earlier, an NBA Hall of Famer, Paul Pierce, claimed that the Nets may want to explore the option of trading Kevin to the Lakers, and what do they get in return? Well, they get Anthony Davis. Is that a step down or a step up? That's for y'all to decide in the comment section. Next up, a blockbuster 3-team trade around Durant, Irving, and Westbrook. So the thing we just mentioned, Durant for Anthony Davis? Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a huge chance that's going to become a reality anytime soon. If the Nets indeed do decide that they need to hit that reset button on their current, how do we say it nicely, experiment, they'll most likely trade both Durant and Kyrie Irving. Now, of course, the Nets would want a lot of assets in exchange for this superstar duo, and for that to become a reality, the organization may just want to explore a 3-team trade. Dalton Trigg, a bloke from Sports Illustrated, recently suggested a 3-team trade between the Mavericks, the Lakers, and the Nets. This might just help Kevin Durant partner up with Luka Doncic. Okay, we get that at this point, you've taken out your notebook and you're trying to do the math of how it all works. Don't worry folks, don't worry. We gotcha. Here's what's going to happen. The Mavericks will receive Kevin Durant and Kendrick Nunn. Okay, what about the Los Angeles Lakers then? They'll get Kyrie Irving and Davis Bertans. No folks, we haven't forgotten the Nets. They get Russell Westbrook, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dwight Powell, and Josh Green. Isn't that a tad too unrealistic? Let's find out. Moving on, pie in the sky. Is this still a pie in the sky idea? Maybe, but it's worth trying, isn't it? And it's especially worth trying if you're the Mavs front office. What's the worst that could happen, folks? The absolute worst case scenario, the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers say no. That's it? If that ends up being the case, then you just move on to other ideas. You still don't have any of these players, and you won't have them in the future. Quite simple, isn't it? Dallas, on the other hand, will have more flexibility. It'll have that ability to go get its foot in the door of big trades without help from a 3rd team next summer onwards. But if a big opportunity arises before then, there's no time like the present. Do you know why? Because desperation levels are reaching an all-time high right now. As Trigg mentioned in his suggestion, the possibility of his trade going down simply depends on how desperate the 3 teams in question will become in the coming months. If they do manage to pull off a trade like this, folks, then that will be a huge deal. A trade like this could end up shaking the entire league. And the consequences for our friends over in Texas won't be too bad either, because if this happens, they'll end up becoming instant favorites for the NBA championship. With this out of the way, folks, let's talk about 3 hypothetical trade destinations for Kevin Durant if he re-requests trade demand. Let's talk about how dominating a trade request isn't enough. The Kevin Durant trade request is what took over the NBA news this offseason. However, Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai was able to calm things down a little bit. He talked to Durant, convincing him to stay on the team, and he did it without having to trade Kyrie Irving or Ben Simmons. He didn't even have to fire Steve Nash or Sean Marks for crying out loud. Hence, it all seemed well at Barclays heading into this season. Now though, it's a different story altogether. The Nets are 1-4. If the team keeps this up, do you really think we we won't see another temper tantrum from Kevin Durant? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get ahead of the story that we all know is coming soon. So we're looking at some hypothetical Kevin Durant trade destinations if the basketball legend were to renew his desire to get the heck out of Brooklyn. A new request from the guy would mean that the 12-time All-Star thinks the Nets are over with. They're a sinking ship and it's better to grab a lifeboat and just get out. Interestingly though, this is the very fact that'll make him a little less picky about where he goes. The Nets still can't just ship him out of the Pistons, but we have to assume that he would open himself up to a few more possibilities this time around. On the Nets side of things, they'll need to do a great job bringing back young players and picks. And with Irving and Simmons still on the roster, the trade will be a little more player heavy. First and foremost, at number 1, he could go to the Phoenix Suns. Who will he be replaced with? Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. Because as far as young players go, this is likely the best the Nets can do for Kevin. Because when it comes to Mikal and Cam, the Nets get a ready-made young wing nucleus that'll make them a 3 and D team around Irving. So a starting lineup of Simmons, Bridges, Johnson, Claxton, and Irving does make a lot of sense, and the athletic 5 could definitely compete in the East. And as far as the Suns are confirmed, they'll probably go all in on Chris Paul's last season and solve their Jay Crowder problem. Hopefully both at the same time, because let's not forget, they're giving up 2 young starters. This gives them a starting 5 of Paul, Durant, Booker, Ayton, and Lee. And we don't need to tell you, it'll be an awesome starting 5. Moving on to number 2, he could go with the New Orleans Pelicans. In this case, he'd be traded in for Brandon Ingram and Devontae Graham. So if the Nets prioritize picks over players in a Durant trade, the Pelicans are the team they need to be talking to. New Orleans has a first-round pick and a Lakers pick swap in 2023. They also have 2 first-rounders and a pick swap in 2024. There's a lot more, but we'll talk about it some other day, folks. If the Pelicans want to add Durant to Williamson and McCollum and try to work that core, this is the best thing the Nets can do for themselves. But remember, folks, this trade isn't just about the picks. Ingram is a damn good player, and he could fit well with Irving and Simmons as a swap with Durant. If the Nets do end up making this trade, they might just get a little better with a younger player. Finally, folks, he could go for the 76ers. So the final hypothetical trade that could be done is Durant to the Philadelphia 76ers for Harris, Maxey, and Thibault. Do y'all remember when Brooklyn had a James Harden problem and Philly had a Ben Simmons problem? How was that solved? Well, it was solved by Sean Marks and Daryl Morey getting together and swapping those players. So the question is, why can't that happen again? The Sixers and Nets have both started pretty poorly, to say the least. Like, come on, folks, 1-4? A Kevin Durant trade to the 76ers would shake both teams up, and it might just set the Nets on a path to a rebuild with the young and ever so promising Maxey and Thibault. But then again, we've seen what happens when 2 non-shooters play together, haven't we? The point is, the Nets are desperate to get Kevin out. Marks may want to hit up Morey again to see if they can shake hands on some sort of deal. That's it for today's video, my friends. Do y'all think this 3-team blockbuster trade will work? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with another video.